riding in the car with Heidi driving feels so normal for me whenever we're in town and she's running around for errands and stuff, but it seems really odd when we're out on the highway.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. So let me tell you what kind of trooper Heidi is. This is, there's no way I would do this. So yesterday she went into work at 5 a.m. and she worked until about 2. I think it was a little earlier than 2.
Actually, a little later than 2. It was 2:30.
Oh yeah, that's right. So 2:30. So we did some running around at 2:30. We sold the pickup truck. We sold the F-150, and then came back to the house. And within about, I don't know, 30 minutes, Heidi then went back to work, and she worked till just shy of midnight.
Yep.
All right, so that's a long day. That's a split. Then she got up the next morning at 5. That's this morning, and then she worked till, what time did you actually clock out of there?
5:15.
Yeah, after 5. So then,
I got there, 5 to 5. I got there at 5:30 this morning to 5:15. So 12 hours, or almost 12.
Then she came home and finished up the packing. I had all my stuff kind of laying there, and she grabbed the stuff that she needed. I kind of prepped the car for the super trip you can see here.
Looks like we're driving the truck.
Yeah, like we're driving the truck again. Radar detectors and GPS's, phone mounts, all that stuff. But she's been driving the whole time. And we're gonna be stopping here in about an hour. 40-ish minutes.
Yeah.
What we did is we put in our final destination in the Waze app, and then we put in where we're going to, the hotel we're going to for the night there, which that kind of sucks. I mean, we're IHG members, but it just sucks that we're spending our time our money at a hotel. It just seems weird. I mean, we did it when we were RVers.
Yeah.
We would stop at hotels, but it was the exception, not the rule, and now it's the rule. So Heidi and I had all this time. We was talking about where we want to move to, what kind of RV we want to get, and we came up with the greatest answers ever. And it's, I don't know. We just don't know. We don't know what we want still. So what we do is we play this game of then what we don't want. And some of the things that come up when we say we don't want is we don't want to be at our current location any longer than what's feasible. Right now it's feasible to be there.
And we don't have a mortgage.
Yeah,
That's the big plus for that location.
Yeah, no mortgage. That's why we're able to do, all the repairs that we are and stuff like that. We don't know, how long Heidi wants to work in her job.
It's going very well, so.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I got a good relationship with my district manager.
Better, I'll have to say, her relationship with this district manager, I think, is better than her old district manager. Yeah. The best thing that we could do is find a place that we can move to that's in good proximity to Heidi's work, but it's in a more of a type of neighborhood that we feel that we would want to be at for a longer period of time. More younger neighbors, although we like the older neighbors are so quiet. Less stuff going on up and down the road. It's just you always got something that you're going on, and it's not like, oh, they're like the guy across the street. When he goes to work, we know 4 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, if I hear a vehicle outside and I see bright lights, I know it's him going to work. At about 5 o'clock, 5:20, we hear a loud vehicle that comes down the street and idles for a while, just for a few minutes, and then we hear it take off again. I know that that's the paper delivering to 2 of our older neighbors that are there. You know, you get used to that stuff. When you see an SUV that's not our neighbor across the street's vehicle, when you see an SUV pull into her driveway, though, you know it's her daughter visiting. I mean, when our neighbor that's on the other side of us, you know, you see a car start up that's parked in the street or comes home real late and parks in the street, we know it's, you know, our neighbor, he drives Uber and Lyft, so he's on runs. So there's those things. But then you've got all this other stuff of, where is this person coming from? Why do they got the backpack on? That's the thing. I've never seen more people that have full-blown backpacks on that are filled. That, I mean, they're big. They're all puffed out. And they're not odd. You know, the thing is, it's not our house, our street, all that. It's not a normal route of travel for any reason. There's nothing specifically that I could say, oh, I know where they're going to, except for at the end of the street, there's the church that has a charity down there that hands out hundreds of meals a day. So that I can understand when we see people, you know, at certain times a day going down that direction. But other than that, it's weird. And certain cars just running laps. I mean, just laps. Just constantly back and forth, all times, day and night. That stuff seems, you know, kind of strange. Now, with that said, that doesn't really make too much difference to us. They don't, as long as they don't, you know, interfere with us. But it's still one of those things that we'd like to be in a neighborhood that, you know, everybody knows that whenever that car is going up the street where they're going to. We've lived in those neighborhoods. You know, we've lived to where when a car goes down the street, the only reason that car's going down the street is because they're going home or they're leaving or something. I remember clearly that I used to live in an allotment, and whenever it was, you know, like in the middle of the summer when school was out, and we were all in our van. You know, I've got a pretty big family. So when we were all in the van and we were leaving, you know, the allotment all together in the van, I mean, the whole neighborhood knew, oh, hey, there they go. They're all going on, you know, going to Florida on vacation. And that's what we did, you know, and they'd all wave and everything, you know, to tell us, hey, have a good time. And I mean, it was, some of this is bygone days that, you know, that stuff don't necessarily happen. But I still would like to find a neighborhood that just feels that we feel comfortable in. It's just like RV parks. Some of these RV parks we got into and immediately we felt comfortable. We liked it. We just felt comfortable. Then we got into other ones and immediately like, man, I ain't gonna stay here very long. So it's the same with the neighborhoods. We're wanting to run into the same situation, trying to find a good neighborhood. And there's plenty of choices. There's lots of homes for sale. And we could go, you know, overboard. I mean, to get real specific, we could buy a home that's as low as $60,000. We could buy a home that's $300,000. It all depends on what, you know, where we want to live and what that neighborhood's like. So got a pretty wide range. Of course, Heidi and I, being real thrifty, we would rather just not have a mortgage again and try to see, you know, maybe a little mortgage. But yeah, it's one of those things that we've been talking about. So we got about another 45 minutes, so the clock says, and we'll be at our destination for the night.
Is there any places to eat around there?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to get off here and check. Look at me. Look at me. I'm driving. I'm driving.
Driving me nuts.
I'm driving. I haven't driven this many miles in the last year and a half.
Yeah,
I haven't driven.
it's been over a year.
Yeah, this is.
And, well, it's been a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half.
Not quite.
So this is woo. Now Heidi drove all last night. And we got to stay at the hotel, and so I slept okay. And Heidi said she didn't sleep too good.
I was up like every hour, waking up, tossing and turning. I swear we were sleeping on air mattress.
Yeah, our mattress.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, now we're
but every
from our
time you
sponsor.
move around, yeah, it felt like we were sleeping on an air mattress.
If the guys think we kid around, I should say kid around. A lot of you may not. That RV mattress thing is for real. That's why we do the videos that we do on that, because I told you we have very good luck with our mattress at home.
Yeah, Brooklyn bedding.
Yeah. So the trip has just begun for the day. We've only been on the road for, I don't know,
An hour.
it's 9:10. What time do we leave over there?
Well, an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah. And I forget.
This drive, I hate this drive.
Yeah, we've driven.
I don't know who would want to drive this.
We've driven 77 so many times over the decades. I mean, to give you an idea, the first time that Heidi and I took 77 south was, it would have been in your Tempo when we went to Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
We took 77 south, and then we shot across. Remember?
Yeah.
70, whatever that is. I can't remember what that road is in Zanesville that shoots across to Columbus. That was the first time in Ohio. About 3 years after that? Yeah, about 3 years after that, her and I took a trip to Florida.
We were married.
Yeah, we were married, so that's 3 years after we were dating. That'd been right. And we've done, every time we go to Myrtle Beach, every time we go to Florida, it's just this road. It's always this road. It gets boring after a while. And even prior to that, I came up from Florida in 77 on this road. And then, we went back and forth even then as a family, before I even was driving, to Florida on this road. Back when the turnpike was horrible in West Virginia. I mean, it was some serious construction going on there. There was parts where it was only one lane in each direction for miles because they were cutting out mountain and stuff. All right, enough of that. So we're doing it. We're getting there. And this little car is not that comfortable on the arms and stuff for me. I wish I had a big armrest that went here.
But it's really not.
Right.
The ride is not bad.
I have a hard time discounting this car. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
And we've had over 3,600 miles. We've averaged 30 miles to the gallon.
It's pretty good.
That's
Considering
her
my
driving
2.5 miles to work.
Yeah, that's just her driving back and forth to work almost all city. So I don't know. It's a hard car for us to match.
That and the price.
And the price. Yeah, but we don't know if we want to buy it at the end of the lease.
Money talks.
Money talks.
All right, we'll pick it up later.
Yeah,
we're getting ready to...
We got 6 hours worth of driving.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get on the turnpike.
Well, we're basically kind of on the turnpike.
Well,
but
it hasn't said that.
Yeah.
They're going to collect.
Pass. I did a video on that in the past.
Yeah. They're going to...
Don't hesitate, guys. Just go get it. Quit screwing around. And we did the same thing. I don't know if let's just pay the tolls. We did that for years.
As soon as we were using it a lot.
I mean,
Then we got it because we didn't use it a lot. But it says have $4.25.
Remember when we first got
It was like $1.25.
Yeah, I think it was
75 cents maybe.
Yeah.
That was $4.25. But you get a discount when you use UniPass too.
Yep.
I want to say it's like 30%.
Yeah, it's a good discount.
All right, we're gonna pick it up later.
Guess what we didn't do? We didn't pick it up later. We didn't pick it up later at all. We didn't give you an update on our trip because our trip didn't go the way we thought. It was different than we thought. So no highlights, nothing. I'll tell you the truth that the talk that we were given seemed kind of boring anyway. So Heidi's back at work. Heidi, as I told you before, she's got, she's like an Iron Woman when it comes to work.
I can't control the garage door right now.
No, I don't
Please
care.
go check on
No,
it.
I'm not checking on that. I can see it from here. She has one person on vacation, and she has another one that's changing stores or relocating or something. And basically, she's going to be working, I think, 6 days next week or this week, however you want to look at it. She is off for a couple days for the holiday here. I don't know when you're watching this, but she's doing some open to closing too, which that's tough. She has a hard time doing open to closes, and a lot of that has to do with her not being able to sit still, and her moving all day long eventually does start to wear on her. Now I've got old clothes on today. Because I have to, we were away from the house for however long. I have to take care of the lawn. And I want to do it today because it is only 72 degrees outside for the high today. It's beautiful sunshine. I'll show you this. And then tomorrow it's going to be 82. And then we've got some rain coming in. So let me slip on some boots because I think I'm going to be string trimming. I think I'm going to be edging the sidewalk, maybe even the driveway with the edger. And then I will definitely be mowing, which, yeah, I'm surprised. Now, I've got some bad news on the home front when it comes to our status of what's going on in the yard. And I knew it was too good to be true. We haven't seen a raccoon here for approximately 5 to 6 weeks, and the reason is because one of them had babies. So now there's 4 babies running around with the mama. And for you guys that are sensitive to that kind of stuff, just let you know, that's not going to last. Because we were down to basically 1 raccoon. And unfortunately, it had babies. So we again, the whole reason behind this is because if our grandson comes over and hangs out, we don't want him to be bit by a rabid raccoon, or we don't want to have raccoons rooting through whatever. I think Heidi said one of them rooted through one of her planters out there. The other one, we can't tell if it was a possum or the raccoons tore apart our bag of bug and ate all the bugs out of it or something. I don't know. I would think that might be a possum more than raccoons, but I have no idea at this point. So we had a lot of time to talk about and think about everything that we're wanting to do, and we're still on the fence a lot of ways. And one of the main reasons is because something Heidi said during that ride, and it's we have no mortgage, and it's really hard to jump in. Let me think how to say it responsibly. People, we feel ourselves to be people that are responsible, and especially fiducially responsible. And when you jump into an obligation, it should weigh heavy on you. It should be something that you really take serious. And for us to get into where we're going to sign a contract, basically, it says we want to pay for a home for the next 30 years or 20 years or 15 years, whatever we do. We want to make sure that we feel strongly about that. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with getting into something and then backing out and going a different direction. It's just we would rather not do that necessarily right now. And the reason is, on one hand, the market is so hot right now. To buy a home, it's hard. So houses prices are a little bit higher than probably what they should be in this area. The good news is that means our house would probably sell for a little bit more than what it normally would. So we've been talking about, maybe putting stuff in storage. We've been talking about potentially renting a condo, renting an apartment, buying a mobile home in a park, just for a short-term, thing. Of course, when you rent, that money is not, something that you'll recoup. But you could find yourself in the right situation in short-term that might make sense. And that's the kind of things we're talking about. I can't believe how beautiful a day it is. It is so nice outside. What I want to talk about is every once in a while we get comments on older videos, and sometimes I think that the questions or the comments are something that are need to be elaborated on a little bit more than what I could do in the comments, and I think it should be shared with everyone. So in this case, is on the video that we did that we were talking about, and we talked about it quite a bit, to be honest. The Hughes Autoformer, which I think is back there in one of the totes. Yeah, I think that Hughes Autoformer is back there in one of those totes, along with the Power Watchdog. We think that Power Watchdog surge protector is an incredible piece to have, especially when you're full-time RVing. It's one of those things that I say, just do it. I just seen that they came out with a new design, which, as far as I can tell, everything about it looks even better. So I'm going to say, again, just do it. It's not inexpensive, but it's one of those things that I think you should buy. Personally, I would recommend it to anybody, and if I didn't have one, I'd go buy one once I started RVing right away. And you don't even have to be a full-time RVer to necessarily want to use that. The other thing is with the Autoformer, which is a separate component altogether. I did videos on this in the past, so go back and check those out. Just search through. You'll see it has something to do with power or electric or protecting your RV. It may be under the review videos also in that playlist. Might be easier to find that way instead of going through like 800 videos. But the question was, the guy had asked something to the effect of, why not run the surge protector and the Autoformer with the generator, or with your having to unplug it basically. And the thing is, with an inverter generator, even with our little Honda generator and our Champion generator, that inverter design has built-in surge protection already. It is the source of the surge, so it has probably the best. Let's say if a machine could think, which it's getting to that point, believe it or not, with AI, it has the best knowledge of what it can do to protect the power that it's putting out and the components that may be hooked to that power. So to keep it simple, I say just run. If you're going to run a generator, just run the generator, plug your RV into it, and let it go at that. Don't run a surge protector. Don't run an Autoformer. It's not something that's needed. It's not necessary. And the Autoformer really can't do more with the generator as it is. Generator's limited by what it can do. and it knows what it can do. So you can put all kinds of magic boxes on it all you want, and it's still going to only do so much. So whenever somebody is putting the autoformer or the surge protector, the power watchdog, on their rig, you'll see that some of the options of purchasing it is hardwired, to where you can actually hardwire it into your rig, to where you plug in your rig at the post and it's protected. You know, those components are hidden away somewhere. You can still see them on an app, and it's protected. The rig is protected that way. You don't have to worry about plugging in and unplugging units. The thing is I never liked that idea in case one of them failed. You know, I'd want to be able to go to maybe a cheaper surge protector to get me by until I can get the first one looked at, which the new ones have a new replaceable module that's a lot easier to deal with, you know, as a customer, you know, one-on-one. But the thing is the surge protector and the autoformer, it's best to have it to where you can unplug those and run your generator direct, because of harmonic distortions and sine waves and feedback, and all those components have such, you know, circuitry in them and programming that if you get something that's outside of a normal range of just plugging into the wall, you could see some problems. And the fact that your generator has that same technology and programming built into it, it may sense something strange from the power watchdog or the autoformer that it don't understand, and it could cause you problems. So I just recommend you not doing it for that reason. So if you listen to all that ramble, great. But in a nutshell, if you're running a generator, do not run your power watchdog or your autoformer. If you're doing it and you're getting away with it, great. If you run one or not the other, great. I'm just telling you, it's probably not a great idea for the fact that those things could potentially misread and feed and fail based on, you know, all these sensing, adjusting mechanisms, and they're seeing something that's out of the ordinary, something that's above and beyond. So just to give you an example, I have a surge protector from a company. Let me grab it because I want to talk about this company from years ago, even though it didn't work for us. So let me grab that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm assuming that this company is still around. We were contacted by them about 2 years ago, and you guys know those micro air easy starts that install on your rooftop of your your AC unit of your RV. I installed those on our travel trailer in both rooftop air conditioners. However, when we got into our fifth wheel, I didn't install them on the fifth wheel. And the reason is because I had a generator that was big enough that it could do both of them. One or the other, not both of them at the same time. And before, with the travel trailer, I had that little Honda generator that I was using to power one or the other. And the reason it could do it is because those micro air easy starts, those ramping, it ramped up the voltage to turn on the compressor, which helped that little generator get past the biggest hurdle needed, and that was to be able to unload a lot to get that rotor to lock up in the compressor and start compressing, right at the beginning. However, whenever we got into the fifth wheel, again, the only time we was running a generator, we were running a generator that was far big enough to run one or the other of the rooftop AC units. Now, don't get me wrong, I still could have benefited from those micro air easy starts. It's just I didn't see spending $300, $400, whatever they were, for the short time that I was going to have the RV, which in this case turned out to be about a year. Now, I got contacted by this company, and it's Active Controls. You can see their box here. And the guy that I spoke to, great guy, ex-Army guy like myself. He actually knew the area in which I was born and raised. He was there for a period of time, and he says, I want to send you something. I want you to try it out. So I thought this would be kind of cool. And what this is a surge protector and you see the app, you know, QR codes here. And this is a 30 amp because we were planning on running this with a generator, which it will work with a generator. That's the whole idea behind this. It has that smart ramp up technology built into it. What this is a surge protector, right? But more importantly, it has the startup load reduced by up to 50% using this. It senses the voltage that's necessary, and it ramps it up instead of boom, all needing, you know, at once. So I thought this would be great because with my generator, I'd be able to power my rooftop AC, and I would be able to potentially power other things inside the RV that might be above and beyond that would cause it to kick off. Plus, it would help out with the generator if you were running maybe a little bit smaller generator than, you know, right on the borderline. Like this 3,500 watt generator, sorry, 3,400 watt generator that I have, if I run it on propane and I'm at elevation, if I'm up, you know, 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 feet, and if I have to run an air conditioner at that height, you know, you never know. It could be that that generator wouldn't produce enough power to turn on a 15,000 BTU AC unit. So you would put this in place, and this would, again, ramp up the voltage necessary to get over that hump of getting the air conditioner to start and start cooling, getting that compressor running. The problem that I had, though, was I had an automatic transfer switch for my generator. And if you guys haven't watched that video, again, go back to that if you can, and if you're interested in it. And basically what I did is I installed an outlet on the front of my rig of our fifth wheel, so I could put the generator in the bed of the truck and run a relatively small short cord, just a 30 amp cord, to be plugged in to the front of the RV and not have to run a cord all the way to the back and plug in there to turn on the RV using a generator. That way the generator could stay in the bed of the truck. I could lock it up in the bed of the truck and have this short, small cord to power the AC unit and the microwave and whatever else we had going on in there. So when I hooked this up to the generator, thinking this is going to be awesome, it's going to help out, you know, with that generator's load a little bit to where it doesn't have to struggle as much. All it did was make that automatic transfer switch fluctuate on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And the reason is because this would reduce the voltage load enough that it wouldn't engage that self-sensing switch to have that switch recognize, hey, I've got full power. I can go ahead and flip over to generator source and cut off the shore power source. It just didn't work. So that's why we have it. And I've been hanging on to it this whole time because we're going to get into a rig, and I'm sure that we're not going to need a transfer switch necessarily again. And even if we did, maybe I won't run it because I have this. So there's other ways around it. And that's one of the things, though, I wanted to talk about is here's a perfect example of something that, you know, on paper looks great. I have a, you know, built-in surge protection with the generator. This has a built-in surge protection also. And there's no problems with those two things working together, as this is pretty much designed to be run with a generator. It says right on it, supports ACs with a small generator. That's really the basis behind this. But the problem was, like in my case, I had another component, something as simple as an automatic transfer switch, and it just couldn't figure it out. The transfer switch, it was all confused, and it just caused all kinds of problems. So there's the reason that I say, with a generator, don't run anything additional, you know, unless you want to take a chance just to see what happens. You really don't need to. But this is cool. So I'm going to put a link here somewhere for these guys. Tell them that we sent you. I feel bad that we never got to do a video on it, but oh well, you know, that stuff happens. And they were more than You know, they were more than accommodating. I really liked talking with that guy. He was pretty smart. He was some sort of an engineer. And of course, you know, like the owner of the company too. So that's it. I got to get to work. This has gone on long enough. All right, I'm whipped. I don't know what time I started, but I just finished. I'll be happy whenever we have a small lawn again. It's nice saying you got a big yard, and if you're using the big yard, which we're not. So I didn't weed eat all the driveway, but I did weed eat back there. I weeded the ditch, because again, if you guys watched us for a while, you know that our property goes to the other side of the fence and all the way to the road. There's a ditch out there, so I mowed all that. Of course, I mowed all this. String trimmed all around the fence. I didn't have to do this part of the fence. It was done just recently. Edged everything. I mean, I got out the edger. And, well, you can see where I stopped, because I didn't edge. Our son's car was here, so you can see where I didn't do that part there. But everything else got edged. And then, you know, and it makes a difference for us because we get a lot of water on this driveway when it rains, and this allows it to have a little channel to run into. I had to get the leaf blower out, of course, and clean up all the dirt that was out here. And then I edged the walkway, our walkway, and then I edged the sidewalk too. So I mean, you can see the straight lines there. Makes it a little bit neater looking compared to like our neighbor. She has a lawn care service, but unfortunately they don't do their edging very well. So I am whipped. Heidi should be coming home in about half an hour or so. It's nice that she's real close to the house here, being just, oh, I don't know, I guess I'll say 8 minutes from the house, maybe 6 minutes. I mean, it's 2 miles, but with traffic and stuff, whew, I'm telling you, having a bigger yard can be a handful. It wouldn't be if I didn't have so many obstacles. So again, if we were to stay here for any period of time, I know you guys are seeing this fence. Yeah, we need to call a guy. We have the money just sitting in the house ready to go. And we haven't called the guy yet. Because we're undetermined on how we want to do it. You guys remember I said that I was thinking about straightening out the fence and putting it, you know, covering our property, which it don't. Heidi seems to think that we just need to repair what's here, and that's it, and put it back the way it was. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm not saying that I'm wrong. It's something to think about, though. I mean, the thing is, they put the fence up wrong originally. If we have the ability to put it up right, well, I mean, maybe we should. I just don't know. I mean, there's an additional cost there, so I get that. And we're not going to stay here. I get that. And that little extra corner isn't going to make a bit of difference to us. But I don't know. I thought it was weird when we first moved in. I didn't understand why the fence was, you know, crooked. And I'm sure the next people may think the same thing. We were thinking about having them put a little door back there, you know, a man door, a person door, a woman door, whatever you want to call it, to go in and out. And it's still a thought. But the other thing we wanted to have them do potentially, and this is why we've been holding up more than anything else. So we're contemplating that when he's doing that fence back there as a repair, that when he's here, to get him also to move our gate, like I've said before. So you guys have seen this or heard me talk about this before. I apologize that I'm rehashing this, but we want, you see where the short fence is? See where the next medium size starts? Right where that starts, we would like that gate and that piece of fence so that that door is behind it, and it matches then the other side of our yard. And we want it to be wider also, because it's a little bit of a handful to drive through there. It's not horrible, but our son has clipped his mirror on there. I clipped the mirror of the truck on there. So it's tight. It's tight to get in and out. It would just be nice. I think it would make a little bit more sense and seem a little bit more practical that we have, again, that door behind the fence. It'll give us more room for parking. We would be able to do more as far as that's concerned. We were entertaining the thought of maybe widening this more for parking. The smart thing to do is probably just extend out a little parking area there. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So we that's why we're holding up. But yeah, the fence needs to be fixed. It looks horrible, and I'm tired of seeing it. The other thing I have to do, for some reason my pressure washer quit working the other day. I have not looked at it. I mean, I have literally not done anything with it at all. I was going to fire it back up to pressure wash off something small at the end of a job, and it didn't want to start. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. I'll have to look at it. But it would not start. It just wouldn't start. It makes me think that there was the low oil pressure sensor switch, maybe bad, faulty, something going on there, because it felt as if it was getting no spark whatsoever. The easiest way to figure that out is just shoot a little carb cleaner in the carburetor, and if it's a fuel delivery problem or a timing problem or whatever, you should be able to hear it pop. Try to start something on carb cleaner, since that's more volatile than fuel, and it didn't do that. So that tells me there was no spark to cause it to pop, try to run, whatever. So that's usually an ignition thing. But yeah, I need to pressure wash the fence. You could see a couple of dark spots where all those trees that have fallen down, where all those trees were that were keeping shade on the fence, and the fence was starting to get moss on it. The same back there, this whole corner. I need to take the pressure washer, and I need to pressure wash all of that off so that I can take our paint sprayer and I can paint the fence. The fence needs painted on the back side for sure, and then on the inside all the way around, and then on the front side over here. I don't think so much on the other side there. That I haven't really looked at it, but I don't know what it looks like, and quite honestly I can't imagine really seeing it. Depends on how much the stain is, or the paint that we use. And of course we'll have to use some sort of a brown color or whatever this is here, I don't know, for it to make sense. So those things we want to do, and I don't know, then we'll pack up and move. So one of the things that we have never experienced in the city before is 4th of July. And I'm going to tell you right now that you would think in the city limits, where you're not supposed to shoot off fireworks or anything like that, that you wouldn't hear as many. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've never heard so many fireworks. And we used to live out in the country.
There's fireworks after the Scrappers game, so it's probably going on right now.
But I don't know if you can note, it's not coming out on camera very well, but it is just a haze. And this is all smoke from, yeah. Now don't get me wrong, we've got fireworks. We're going to go out to We're going to go out to Heidi's mom's house tomorrow, or I'm sorry, the day after tomorrow, and we're going to shoot off fireworks. And this is just one little part of the city. I mean, this city is not small. How many people are in this city?
20-some thousand, I think. And more, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe more.
But you could just hear it just constantly going off. So we went to the fireworks store today to pick up some fireworks. And I'm going to tell you right now that store was bare.
Yeah, we got there late.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fire. Oh, there's some over here.
Oh, some back over this way. I mean, you can just hear them going off. Sounds like a war zone.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, this sounds like war. It's raining right now. That'll help.
Probably trying to hurry up.
Yeah.
But the scrappers had a game today, and so they were letting off fireworks.
So
there.
what Heidi's referring to is behind the local mall,
Eastwood Mall,
which is, what, 2 miles from here?
Yeah.
Is a minor league baseball team that used to be one of the farm teams for the Cleveland Guardians, but they no longer supply players to the Guardians, but they're called the Youngstown Scrappers. Wonder why. I guess everything's been scrapped here. All the steel mills were scrapped. But yeah, this rain will help. It'll knock down a lot of this. But man, it's incredible how many fireworks.
It's a little breezy now.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought I'd share this with you guys. Heidi was talking about it. I said, yeah, let's go outside. Just so you could see what, I don't know. Is this the inner city? Yeah.
Where we live.
Yeah, what the city's like as far as 4th of July is concerned. There's a lot of...
It'll be like this probably all weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much.
Yeah, it is 4th of July today, right now. But yeah, I guarantee this is going to go on. Yeah, there's some behind these trees that you're not going to be able to see them, but... All right. We're going to go back inside and listen to clicking and clacking. Heidi's off tomorrow, and she's off the next day. What a surprise. Howdy, YouTube. Welcome to the next day. I'm not sure what the last day was, to tell you the truth. I don't have much of an update for today, but I did want to say, at time of filming, Happy 4th of July. We're getting ready to have a few days off for Heidi. I think we will go shoot off probably close to $3,000 worth of fireworks. It's not us buying them. I mean, we'll buy some, but Heidi's mom is a big fan of 4th of July, as was Heidi's dad. And Heidi's mom's feeling a bit, I don't know what you want to call it, nostalgic, let's say that, since Heidi's dad had passed quite a few years back. And she wants to have a big 4th of July thing, because Heidi's dad did enjoy 4th of July. He loved that. So yeah, I kind of organized the garage a little bit. I don't know if it's any less messy. Let's see. We're kind of in growing pains here, and I shoot video out here on reviews and stuff, and we're kind of bottled up. So what this garage cannot do is, in this configuration, house a vehicle. So if Heidi needed to start parking her car inside, which she won't, it won't work unless I did a lot of reconfiguration with these bikes. The thing it does allow is kind of a work area, but no more storage. And it's kind of putting a damper into something that we've had going on for some time now. And Heidi has a bunch of furniture that she bought to refinish. She wants to try that out. She wants to, we bought so much furniture last summer, and she started sanding on a few of the pieces, and she wants to paint them. She wants to paint the pieces, and she wants to resell them. She wants to see if that's something she would enjoy doing in her spare time, which unfortunately her spare time is dedicated to work. She's got a lot of stuff going on at work. Guys, again, as I mentioned in previous video, people that have relocated, people that are leaving, and it's just one of those things in the retail business when you have workers. They come and go all the time. So Heidi hasn't had a chance to do that. Now our son, he asked the other day, hey, is there a place that I can work on furniture at? And I said, well, out in the driveway. I said, the thing is I believe it's going to rain. Now, I said that yesterday, and it did rain. It's going to rain again today. Not much. I mean, as we speak, I think it might be spitting just a little bit, but the humidity is so great. Now, as far as sanding, I don't think that's much of a deal, but painting, forget it. It is way too humid for painting. So the furniture still sits in the basement. Now, Heidi mentioned something about sanding in the basement, but the problem is it's a confined area, and even, the good news is it confines the sawdust into that room. The bad news is you got to breathe it, and there's really no way of getting rid of it. Once you're done, you got to sweep it all up, clean it all up, and that can be pretty messy. Whereas outside, I just take the leaf blower and I can just blow it away. So it's tough. This is getting back to the same thing we've been talking about forever, and that's, do we need additional storage? Do we need to have a shed here? Even if all those bikes were gone, it might make it a little bit easier, but I don't know if that would be the solution necessarily, because now we've got to cover up everything else, all my tools and everything. We'd have to cover all that stuff up. And, sanding is a messy business. Now, as far as painting, though, it would be perfect in here. We could put some drop cloths down, some cardboard down, and painting would be fine. But, yeah, I'm still missing the truck. Now, I literally have a trailer over there that I'd have to borrow my son-in-law's vehicle to to unfortunately tow it with, unless we put a hitch on Heidi's car. I wonder what Heidi's car is rated for. But again, that's a lease. We only have I think 4 more months on that lease, and we're done with it. And we're, again, kind of caught in between what kind of vehicle to purchase, outright or to lease again. I think the answer might be leasing because of 2 things. Because of the way the economy is right now, you got to make smart decisions. You have to make smart decisions. You can't blame somebody for what's going on. Just make smart decisions for what is going on. And right now, interest rates are a little high. So as far as getting a car for 0% or 2%, that's not happening. That's not happening really anywhere. So what that means is we would have to make some sort of a purchase agreement that would be paying a higher interest rate than what we want to over a long period of time if we were to buy a car. If we were to lease a car, that interest rate comes into play, but your term is so much shorter. We're only talking a couple years, and in 2 years' time, we may be more defined on what we want and how long we want to keep it. And we'll be 2 years older, so we're getting to the point where if we find the right car and we take care of it like we do, we take care of our vehicles. Almost every vehicle we've ever had is better than when we got it, whenever we get rid of it. There's been very few examples that have gone the other way. And what I mean is mechanically. As far as rust, there's only so much we could do with that. So sometimes the bodywork may look a little bit worse, but the vehicle is in great shape. But we have a tendency to go through vehicles, relatively quick, I guess, 5 to 9 years. when we buy a used vehicle that might be, let's say 8 years old and have 100,000 miles on it. So it's it's one of those things that we know that we're getting old enough that at some point in time here, we could potentially purchase a car that we could make last until we're in our 70s, easily. So yeah, we're not sure what to do about the lease on our car. As I talked about it during that trip briefly, we could keep the car. I mean, we really could. When the lease is up, maybe we're going to purchase it. But again, this interest rate, something would have to be done there. Like Heidi had said, money talks. It's all about the best deal. And we're not real picky. We get used to certain things. We like, nice things just like everybody else. We like nice features in the car. But if the price is right, you can drop those features. I can lose a backup camera. I can lose some sort of Android Auto. I can lose, I don't really need it, but like lane assist or lane guidance or blind spot, mirrors, stuff like that. So it all depends. Really all depends. Like I said, money talks. So let me get to work here. I got a new item here that I think I want to jump into and talk about a little bit. And again, as far as everybody's concerned and what we have to say to all y'all, again, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, and hope everybody has enjoyed it and celebrated it and had a great time doing it. Well, we had a little bit of rain, but it's a good one, huh? Look, it disappeared under the tree. Oh man, maybe it went to our garage and we got a pot of gold in there we don't know about. I got a little surprise for you guys. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And it goes right in that spot there. Nothing special at all. Nonetheless, it's something to talk about. Yeah, how about that? It's just a double. Almost, I can see just a little bit, barely, with my naked eye. I'm out here with my naked eye. I can almost see one more here for a triple, but I haven't seen a triple in a long time. Yeah, it's pretty nice looking, huh? Beauty. All right, so we're going to try something a little bit different here today. Let's see how much I can use this phone to shoot what I want. I don't think that I'm going to be able to very much. Check this out. Some of our fireworks, huh? It's funny because every time I've ever shown anything on this camera, the house has always been messy. I think looking at it that maybe we might be just slightly messy people, because I swear it's not dirty, but it seems like no matter how much cleaning that we do, we continuously have this going on, this stuff going on. So what I'm trying to do here is use a gimbal that I'll be doing a review on, and I want to see how it works in regular, everyday stuff. Now I got a light on here that I can turn up and turn down, and of course I'm going outside, so Heidi's off work today. We're going to be doing some fireworks celebration, and again, I wanted to try out the camera. You're going to see something a little bit different, though. Of course, Heidi took our son's car. For whatever reason, she loves driving our son's car. I think it's because it's so small and she can just throw it around and it's quick and easy. But in the meantime, we got something different out here. Yay! I alluded to this the other day, but this is this is us not liking what we see in the marketplace and going to something that we know. So here's the deal. Our lease is up on that car right there in about 4 months. So we went out and we were looking at cars, and we've been checking out all these lease programs that's available. Of course, because we're Ford people, we would normally go right to Ford, but Ford don't make cars anymore unless you're getting a Mustang. We didn't really care for the Maverick or the Bronco. We just don't need something quite that big necessarily. And this car is just, as I mentioned before, it has been a tried and true beast when it comes to having a nice vehicle to tote around in, or to hang around in. And I'll tell you, I can't say anything bad about it whatsoever. But yeah, the lease, like I said, is getting ready to be up, and that means we got to make some decisions. Now, the main decision that we have to make is, what we wanted, and to lease a new one of these, or any vehicle for that matter. We checked out a few. They were all saying the same thing. It's like $3,500 down for a 2-year lease to keep our payment about where we want it to be. Why would we do that when we could just go out and buy a car for that same dollar amount that will last 2 years and probably more? So this is a 22, getting ready to be 23-year-old car. It came with a key fob, you see here, and it's pretty much everything that we need right now. It's got 97,000 miles. It's got good air conditioning. It's clean. It has a little bit of rust down in here, which I'll show you when I open the back door if you guys are interested. Heidi's got the seat all the way up. It's got a power seat. It has power pedals, so you can adjust the pedals. That's for Heidi. Of course, tilt steering, CD, air conditioning. Does not have automatic lights. That was before. That's something that I think this car was made before that was really popular. It's very quiet. The air conditioning's ice cold. Again, this is the worst part about it. As far as the condition, you can see the rust there. I mean, it is rusty. It is, well, it was an Indiana car, supposedly. Probably needs, I would assume, some struts and maybe some sway bar bushings, because it definitely sits lower than I believe it should. You can kind of see that there. It's kind of cool because it is a station wagon. It has a lot of these cool old features you don't see anymore. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with one hand necessarily. If I push this button, yeah, there we go. So you have, the opening there, which you can load up your groceries or whatever. Of course, you can lift the entire hatchback. And again, because this is old school, you guys will love this, huh? We had this in ours. We had an 89 Taurus wagon that we loved. We were very happy with. Our kids loved it too. Again, I don't think I can do this one hand. Let me see here. Check that out. The old rear facing seat. All the good old days. So yeah, it's in good shape. There's a couple of little dings on the tailgate you can see here. Somebody, I don't even know what happened there, but it's dinged up. And a couple scratches here, a little ding right here. Let's see, ding right here. Last night we polished the headlights. We ordered some new ones because they're all cracked. Of course, we need to see, and that's what you see here. This is polish from us sanding and polishing and hitting them with clear coat. Scratches on the hood, scratches here, an impact here with a cracked bumper, little crack here, and of course there's polish all over the fender still there. It needed new wipers. Heidi put the wipers on, but it's got the entry lights on the mirrors, which that was a big deal back then. But it's a nice car. It's a very nice car. So you guys put in the comments what do you think you would pay for this car. It's you know an acquired taste, I guess you could say. We've always enjoyed station wagons. We had a Ford LTD station wagon, and I'm talking about the little Fox body one. You guys didn't know what Ford Fox bodies look like. It was about an 84, 85 LTD four-door wagon, which is for you guys that don't know, that's a very small wagon. It was a small wagon back in the day. I had an Escort wagon. The Escort wagon was a great little car. I tinted the windows on that and did some other work, and we kind of wish we still had it to some extent, tell you the truth, over the years, because it was a decent car. It's just at the time we didn't need it, and we wanted to get into something else. We also had, again, back when the kids were younger, we had an 89 Taurus wagon. Again, great car. We had that for a couple years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then this one. So yeah, station wagons were something that we enjoyed doing. I don't know what the deal is, but we enjoyed doing station wagons. But it's a partly cloudy day today, but the temperatures are very nice. The humidity is down from what it was. It's not very humid. This is perfect for us. Why do I say it's perfect for us? Because we're going to go fire off some fireworks today. We do have some darker clouds that show up like this, but they said there's really no chance of rain today. Yeah, I'm kind of excited that we've got the car, but there's a little bit of work that needs to be done on it. We'll get there. We'll make it a little bit nicer than what it currently is. But yeah, it does what it's supposed to. Again, tell me what you guys think. What would you pay for it? And I'm going to tell you that it's got a full exhaust. The brakes everything's fine on it. There's nothing that does not work on the car except one of the third brake lights on the left side. The bulb needs replaced. Other than that, there's nothing. Just to make it a little bit nicer for ourselves, though, we will add, like I said, some struts, and probably there's a bushing, I think, maybe, because I heard a noise whenever I went around the corner one time. Hell, it could have been the jack in the back. But yeah. Everybody's guess is in. All right. $4,000 out the door. It was like $4,100. Again, we were putting down $35.99 for a new lease. That just didn't make any sense to me. Not at this point. If we like this car. It's a great car. It gets incredible gas mileage. There was a period of time during our trip to Myrtle Beach that we were at 40 miles to the gallon. There's nothing wrong with this car. We just, I'll tell you the truth. We may end up buying this car still. We got about 4 more months to figure it out. And it's such a hard car to deny as far as what it does. So, yeah, I'll tell you right now that station wagon has less seating legroom than this car for the front and the back. And it has to do with how tall this car is, obviously. But there's a big difference between a $4,000 car and a car that's probably going to be $17,000 for us to buy at the end of our lease. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the day after our 4th of July celebration. I got a cup of ice here. I got some work to do today. Heidi is at work, but she's not working. You know what she's doing? She's going to get some parts for the car. Because no matter how nice you get something, you always got to do a little bit more. Okay, I heard some knocking inside the house, and I just assumed it was the delivery guy on the front porch. But he's not here. What in the world was that knocking then? That is weird. So, what do I have to do today? I have to take our beautiful new to us car and change the headlights. We polished the headlights the other day, which I think I believe I showed you guys. But we knew we needed to order new bulbs. The grass is not going to be mowed because we're in this time of year, to where we haven't had a lot of rain. And if you mow your grass, it starts getting brown if you keep it cut at the height that it needs to be cut at. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we treat it as best we can. And we've got some news, I think, on our house as far as what we're going to do, which we're taking a gamble. So Heidi and I was having the discussion of what we were going to do as far as moving into a new home. So as anything goes, which you know, if marketplace is high for buying, that's great for us while we're selling. Our issue is that once we sell, we want to then buy. When you do that, it could be a wash, you know, across the board. We would sell a house that's worth X amount of dollars. We buy a house that's worth the same amount. The thing is the areas and the neighborhoods and the homes that we've been looking at are far more than what we would be selling this house for. So then we got to come under the consideration of how do we want to buy our next home. Our next home, what ultimately we'd like to do, since we don't own anything or owe anything on this home, is just go out and get traditional financing for the full amount of whatever the purchase price is of the home. And then when this house sells, decide after maybe a couple of years, whenever the interest rates may come down, to then refinance that new home at a lower interest rate with the proceeds from this home's sale down. What that does is, gives us the chance to, yes, get into a new home right away, and just pay the higher interest rates that are being asked for at this time, but for a limited time, just for a couple of years. And then when we refinance, we'll have a better understanding of what the market's like, what our options are as far as length of loan term. We might be able to, cut it in half when we refinance. Instead of going, 30 year, we might be able to do a 15 year. And then, of course, we'll have that, the proceeds from the home that we can apply to that new refinancing. That's a lot of work, a lot of, jockeying around, trying to think smart about things. And we don't know if the work that's involved there and doing all that stuff is worth the effort of what we're ultimately trying to do, and that's try to get into a comfortable living lifestyle like we were before at our old home, and allow us to get back to exactly the way it was. So for you guys that have joined on with us well after we had left and hit the road full time, we lived in just a traditional home that wasn't very expensive. It was well within our budget. We bought it and lived in it for 20 years. And at the beginning of our purchase, we had plenty of money that we could afford it. As time went on, of course, our kids were growing and they had needs. But still, we always had plenty of money to go on vacations, buy vehicles, to purchase ultimately a new truck and a trailer, and hit the road and go full time. We liked that freedom, and we're used to that freedom. So now that we're entertaining the thought of getting into a nice home, something that we might want to be in a little bit longer, it starts coming to mind. Well, do we really want to go through the hassle of what it was like when Heidi and I first got married, which was, just living paycheck to paycheck, a large percentage of our income going out to a house payment, instead of it being just a fraction of what we had available. And we're having a hard time getting over that because that's just not in our nature. The same with the vehicle that I'm getting ready to do some work on. You got to think about, like in our case, we know that we were looking at another 2-year lease. 2 year, that's all we wanted. A nice vehicle that would last us 2 years. Because of the climate of the economy that we're currently operating under, we knew that leasing a vehicle is just not feasible right now because there's no great deals out there. I mean, it used to be you could put 0 down on a vehicle and lease it for a couple of years and, only have a payment of maybe $270 a month for a very nice vehicle. Now, and even when we leased this one, you're putting down $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and your payments are okay, but you've already put in a large amount of money to even start your lease, and it doesn't make sense for us because that dollar amount they're requiring is so much, to put down initially on a lease. That's why we went out and said, you know what, let's just use that money and buy a car that will last 2 years. Well, we know this car is going to last 2 years and I could sell it and make money on it or come back out even with it. I know for sure that this car will be fine. So that's what we did. That's why we did that, because we're not wanting necessarily that monthly payment, and we, have now positioned ourselves in a, cash positive setup, or an asset positive in this case. So we kind of come to the conclusion that I think we're going to stay at this home for another year for sure, maybe 2 years, and we'll have Heidi chime in a little bit later here and see how she feels about it. And I think, I know, we both know, that's going to put it to where we can just bank money. I mean, it'll get to the point where we'll have an extra, I'll throw a number out there, $2,000 a month that we can just put in the bank, put in savings. And that adds up at the end of the year. And don't get me wrong, there'll be other times that we can add large amounts to that. If the housing market starts to, where the cost of this home goes down a little bit, it won't be such a big deal at that point in time because we should have saved, a decent amount of money to where it shouldn't make too much difference. So we just don't know. I mean, we went out, and what's got us thinking about it is today, Heidi and I drove around and looked at homes. The homes that really fit us, that we could see moving into the neighborhood and just, it's a good fit if we feel comfortable and stuff like that. They're $225,000 to $290,000 homes. Those are nice homes for this area. I mean, when you're getting into that dollar amount, you're getting into, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,000 square feet, half to 1 acre, in a, very nice neighborhood, that kind of thing. So it's one of those deals that's ideal for us. But this will make it interesting for our channel for you guys, because even though we're saving that money, this would allow, I've got to make some modifications to the yard since we're going to be here a little bit longer. As far as parking wise, we might have to do a gravel parking situation, and that'll allow it to where I could potentially get an RV in here and start doing some work on it. We could actually get a little project or one that may just need some work on some level to make it a little bit more personalized for us. It won't necessarily be brand new. We could do brand new, I guess. I didn't really think about that. The payments on that wouldn't be too crazy. The interest rates are a little high. Maybe we could. Well, we'd have to talk about that. And some of you suggested some models. I can't remember who just suggested one the other day, and it's a small model, and I liked it. Heidi liked it too. It was pretty decent for camping, just jumping around, getting from point A to point B, and being comfortable in it. I liked it. It was like a 25-footer. So I don't remember who sent that to me, and I know if I grab my phone, I won't be able to find it right now, but I think that'd be kind of cool. So what's on our agenda as far as the home's concerned? We definitely got to get the fence fixed. I'd have to get my pressure washer up and running again. I have to pressure wash the fence in a bunch of places. And then we have to spend a decent amount of money, probably about $500, $600 worth of paint. Get my paint sprayer out and then stain, paint all our fence. And then at that point, maybe we'll have them relocate, like I said before, the gate opening for the fence a little bit further out before we do all that painting. And then I'll have to figure out the driveway situation, because we do need to make it to where we have an extra space back here, or at least a turnaround of some kind. So we'll see how that works out. I think we can do something about that and make the house a little bit nicer. So that's what we're considering. And who knows, it may change. It may change in 6 months. I don't know, but that's kind of the plan that we have so far. All right, just waiting for the headlights to come back or be delivered, the headlight assemblies, and I got to get the car and move it up here. So the other thing we need for sure is to get new struts all the way around on it. The good news is Heidi's work, this is one of the benefits. This is why I used to work on vehicles all the time. This is why I have another YouTube channel that I had started with YouTube back in 07 with, that I was making repairs on cars. Because of her working where she is, we get, a lot of discounted stuff. She actually, if she can find them today, they may be on there. There's times that they have these fire sale things that we could potentially get complete strut assemblies for $1 each. That's not going to be the case most likely though. However, the strut assemblies for the car, even with what's going on, I think they have 40% off. A true 40% off. So we'll double check what they have available and see if that's something we want to do from her work, or she'll shop. We'll shop. We look at Rock Auto. We've bought from Rock Auto plenty of times, and of course Amazon. Believe it or not, Amazon. We've bought a lot of products off Amazon that they're actually cheaper there than Heidi could get at her work with a discount. I think because of the heat today, or at least the sun, I'm going to go out down in the basement. I'm going to get the canopy. I'm going to put that up. It needs kind of be aired out anyways. It's been locked up in the basement like I was all winter long. Not the basement though. All right, so Heidi's back, but I wanted to show you so far the progress. It's real easy. It's really easy. And this is the broken side. Maybe we'll get that fixed. Not.
Unless you can find a fender. All that is a fender cover.
The whole bumper cover? Yeah. Yeah, never know.
It doesn't look like it's...
Paint to match?
Yeah, well, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Good luck matching silver.
So now that we got Heidi here, let's talk with her about what we were just talking about. So to fill in Heidi what I was saying, I was telling them that we'll probably just, for the time being, instead of going out and buying a $300,000 home and paycheck to paycheck, we'd stay in here for a while and bank money.
That could change.
Yeah, and I said that too. I told her, see, we're definitely on the same page. We didn't rehearse this. It's the first her
We're not
hearing
always
of it.
on the same page at the same time.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
But I think what we'll end up doing is, if obviously since we're going to stay here, we definitely have to do something driveway-wise. Maybe move this fence out and driveway-wise or something. Because, first of all, us going in and out of this little skinny fence and opening and closing the gates all the time and all that crap, I don't think we can get around to opening and closing the gates, but we can definitely make that opening bigger. And then also maybe getting gravel put in case we get an RV.
That and one of us can back
Both.
in.
Actually, if we put a big enough thing, 2 people pull in, and then you always have somewhere to back for
Yeah.
either one to go out.
Right.
If not, this one could never back out.
Right.
I mean, it would be really hard. But anyways, that's all something that we'd have to consider if we're being here for a little bit longer than we expected. But,
So you showed them our fine ride that we got.
oh yeah, they've seen that. I can't even remember what day that was that I sent it to them or showed it to them.
Oh well, I mean it's only been a few days since.
Yeah,
we
but I
had
showed it like the first day. I talked about it and then I showed it. So we're happy with it so far, but it does need some work. There is something wrong with it. I forgot. You know what I was saying? There's nothing wrong with it. There is. If I dog it,
Oh yeah.
garage door's going to try to close. And we think it's because it was sitting for so long. If I tried to flog it, as soon as I nail it, it da 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 da, and then it'll clear out. I mean, it jerks real hard, then it clears out, and when you get into second gear, it'll.
And I
go
would
up.
never find that out.
Yeah,
I would. I mean,
right.
unless I was
You have
driving to my mom's.
You'd have to make it do it.
But to work, I would never do.
Yeah.
Because I don't get over 40.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that there's a lot of things that it could be. The car, obviously, with the low miles on it, has sat for a period of time. It could be it's got bad fuel in it. We just topped off the fuel the other day.
Just
But
put a can of
yeah, but we put in 12 gallons, and it's a 18 gallon tank. So there's potential for 6 gallons of junk in there, old gas. I don't believe in that. These new cars should be able to handle old gas. So let's just rule that out. Also, it could be that when I filled it up, because we were getting on the expressway right after that, we filled it up at a Pilot and then jumped on the expressway. And that was the first time that happened. Or was it? I don't remember, but it could be that we stirred up potentially a dirty rusty gas tank.
The first time, I don't know if it was before or after the gas, but it was definitely the first time.
Yeah. So
Because I thought he was playing around
Yeah.
because he does play around.
yeah,
a
sometimes I play around, but I didn't like the way that felt. I wouldn't have been doing that much. The other thing is, it could be a fuel filter. Who knows when that was changed last? Because it does act like it's lacking fuel, but it also could be a clogged injector, a stuck injector, a drippy injector. It could be just spark plugs. Could need a tune-up, plugs and wires. I don't know. We just got it. But that is the only thing wrong with it. And
The fluids need change.
at worst, the worst case scenario that we have going on with it is that the fuel tank is completely rusted inside, and of course we need a new fuel pump and strainer and a float assembly, which the gas gauge is slow to get to where it
It
needs to
hasn't
be.
even got.
Well,
engines.
it's coming down now.
Is it?
Yeah.
But
So-
it never made full.
It never topped out fuel. So it could be something that would be worst case scenario. All of those things we are definitely not afraid of. You know why? Because if we would have leased a new vehicle, just one payment on that new vehicle would have bought all that stuff that we just said. So
Yep.
and I'm not talking about his fuel tank, fuel pump. It'd be about $500 that we'd have into that.
Or more.
Or well, I don't know.
Michael doesn't realize how much the cost of
Yeah, I
parts
haven't
are
worked-
because he has a bottom.
I haven't worked on
But
anything
I
in a long
quote
time.
them every day, and they're shocking.
Yeah, it used to be. So let's play that game since Heidi said that. The last time, and you guys have been watching us for quite some time, the last time that I did anything with a fuel tank and a fuel pump was on our 97 F-250 when we came back from Dale Hollow. When we came back from the Dale Hollow trip. Great trip. If you guys want to go see one of our older videos, go check that out. We went down to Dale Hollow Dam site in Tennessee. We stopped at the quarry, floated around at the quarry before we got there. We stayed in the parking lot, sweated our butts off. It was like this. And we were staying in an RV that we could not run the air because I didn't have a generator set up back then. So we came back, and I told her, I said, I think it might be the fuel tank setup, because I had just put a 38-gallon fuel tank on the back of the truck and had a 19-gallon tank in the front. And I pulled all the fuel pumps out and I put new fuel pumps in. So I bought upgraded fuel pumps, and they were $46 a piece. And I bought the gas tank, and the gas tank was $120 for the gas tank.
There's no way that they're that price now. Double.
Oh, I see. I don't know that.
Yeah, double.
I definitely don't know that. That's how long it's been.
When I look up some things, it's like, whoo, that's. I mean, and I look at other retailers too, and it's like we're all spot on. And yes, the price of automotive parts have skyrocketed.
So we're going to try to get these headlights in, which we bought on Amazon because her work was more expensive than we bought a pair of these for what it would cost for one of them at her work, even with her discount. So we'll see how this works out and what it looks like. And
they look shiny.
They're shiny. They're going to be better than what's in there, that's for sure. Because
the passenger side, I mean, at night it's a little scratchy, but we
shined them up.
You should have took them before.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that with Bud's car because this is just.
Yeah, we have a whole kit that we were using to do the polishing on and sanding.
Yeah, so if you could go right now and get this at Advance Auto Parts for like $10.
Yeah, it works.
They're on clearance, so probably updating the packaging or whatever.
I don't know when you're watching this,
but yeah,
maybe the sale's over. But then again, maybe they have them in a box for even.
Well, they're
cheaper.
not going to go full price, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're on clearance.
It works. It works. Just follow the process. It works. It'll shine them up. It'll get you got to spend some more time on them than we did. We did it at night real quick because we were going to leave the next day, and we knew for 4th of July, our 4th of July,
we were driving it.
We were going to be driving back home at night.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
The headlights needed adjusted. They were pointed in the wrong place, and of course they were dim.
Is there an adjustment on those?
I'll have to look. I don't see it so far. So, his headlights look good. We went ahead, or he did. I didn't do anything. He did his headlights. He used the kit, this polishing kit. So I told him, I said, yeah, we did our polishing, and it worked out fine. It did good. And he said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to do mine. So we had that extra kit. Heidi's getting them on sale at her work. So he did his. But in the meantime, our headlights, we had moisture in them. So it didn't make a difference if we would have shined them up this good or not. They still would have sucked, basically. So we put them in. Of course, this side you can see there's damage on the bodywork from an accident that, this is an old person's car. You know what? I'll be there one day, I'm sure. Bumping into things, and that's just typical. And that's what happened here. They've bumped into something on this side, and there was the damage to the bumper cover. And Heidi's like, oh, we can get a new bumper cover. I said, listen, let's just drive it. She goes, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just drive it for the time being. If we like it and we want to make it a little bit better, we can, maybe buy a bumper cover for it. But the headlights are done. I had to adjust them. I drilled a couple of holes to access the adjusters because, I love Fords. But, man, some of their engineering, especially on, models that were kind of new. I mean, when this car came out, it's still a little spaceshipy, eggy looking. However, whenever you're doing a crazy design like that, there's going to be small details that get missed. And in this case, the access for the headlight adjustment, you could only have a 4mm wrench to do it correctly, or a 4mm wrench. A socket wouldn't have worked. That's basically all there is to that. So yeah, I drilled a couple holes real quick with a step down bit to make the access correct. And then we replaced the third brake light bulb that was burned out in the back today. Found out how all that came apart. We're getting there. It's unfortunate that we had the headlights on for, I don't know, 45 minutes, and we were adjusting them. And then I started the car and I had the air conditioning running with the headlights on. The air conditioning full blast for about 25 minutes. And then I shut the car off. And then I had the headlights on for about another 25 minutes. And I went to start it and it went click, 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 click. So I got out the little Oxydo booster. I did a quick little review on this, an integration on one of the videos. I talked about it. I use it for inflating the bike tires, but I hooked it up and it jumped the car just fine. I was kind of surprised. I shouldn't be, but I guess, I still picture that everything needs big, heavy jumper packs to start things. So I told Heidi, I said, yeah, take it to work and get a battery. Bless Heidi. Everybody pray for Heidi. Heidi, for 24 years that she worked at the other store in Alliance, she didn't have to install but maybe 3 batteries the entire time she was there. For 24 years, she didn't install but like 3 batteries in a car. Reason being is the crew that was there always took care of the batteries because it's a team thing. Heidi is never going to want me to step in and start cooking all the meals in the house. She would be so ticked off. I wouldn't be happy about it. I don't like that stuff. I'm not good at it. I probably could get good at it after a while, but it's just not my thing at all. It's not my cup of tea. I don't understand what flavor works with what food. I mean, I don't know. You can't put one thing with another. She gets mad when I would cook years ago and I would experiment. She goes, why is there so much cinnamon in here? I'm like, I don't know. I thought I would try it. So same with her. With her work, they knew that she was good at a lot of the other stuff in the office and in the store. So they would say, hey, I'll put that and I'll install the battery. You just wait on customers and answer the phone like you always do. And then when she became manager, all of her guys already had known that, hey, Heidi, she installs wipers on all the cars. Back then they would run codes. She would change headlights back when they changed headlights. They don't do that anymore. But she would do all that. And, even the wipers, she would have to sometimes stand up, on a ladder to get some of these trucks to get the wipers done. But she always did that. Now that she's in this store, they're like, hey, if you sold the battery, you install it. So she has installed numerous batteries. So getting back to this car most likely needing a battery, she goes, I don't want to go up there and test my car because then I'm going to have to install a battery. All right, it's 6 o'clock. Those two ran off to get Taco Bell. And I'm finished in here. I'm finished for the day. And we'll pick this up in a little time. I don't know how much video I've got accumulated you guys already watched. This may be the end.